Okay, this is 37th Street Radio and TV, and of course we are out here hooking you up with the best of the best interviews. And today we have a special guest as usual. So guest, please just introduce yourself.
Hi. How are you? All the amazing people of Street 37. My name is Kathomi. I am a host at Abouit TV, and I'm additionally a radio presenter. Currently not practicing, but still radio presenter. So Kathomi.
Yeah, so we got to know you from Abouit TV, and I would like to know what was life before that. Where were you? What were you doing in terms of career?
All right, so actually how I got into TV to begin with was a very interesting journey altogether, because I'd started off on a radio show. There was a competition, which I joined the competition, and then I became one of the top 3, and then I ended up joining radio. So it was one of my friends who was a co-host on that show that then invited me to come in as a guest for their show on Let's Talk. And then, yeah, things just started rolling up, and then I ended up becoming one of the hosts on that station. But ideally, it was just a transition from radio into TV.
Yeah, so there are guys who, like, when they are in uni, many journalists, of course, and media guys, they usually have that one thought: I want to work here. So, like, for you, did you have that mind? Was Hebrew your choice since you were studying, or how was it?
So I can't, again, media in general wasn't something that I'd ever thought about joining to begin with. I didn't have any dreams of becoming a TV host or a radio host. It just happened, a series of events that led up to me being on TV and radio. So I didn't necessarily dream of a station that I wanted to work in, simply because I didn't dream of being in media to begin with. But now that I'm on it, genuinely love it. It's like one of those things which is just a beautiful thing. I honestly love being a TV presenter, and I loved being a radio host, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we go back to radio soon. But yeah, ideally, I didn't have a dream space that I wanted to work in. However, Abouit is a very good employer, so I love my job so far.
You talked about you didn't plan this. I will also like to know, like, although you never had dreams about this, did you, now, when did the love actually start? The point where, like, you started thinking to yourself, I can really do this. In fact, let me even keep on going.
Okay, that's a very good question, actually. Thank you. I feel like with some of these careers, once you enter into the space, is when you start to realize, oh, wow, this is exactly what I was made to do in life. You know, there's just a synergy that happens once you get into a space where you feel like you belong. And that happened for me once I started. First of all, I went to school for hospitality management. And as I was waiting to graduate, waiting to get into my internship, I decided, hey, let me do a little bit of like a little video type vibe on my social media. That was Instagram. Back then I had like 1,000 followers, I think. Yeah, so I started doing a quick little videos about like helpful little tips or small little things that I found were interesting, or like a story time. And a friend of mine nudged me into the direction of, oh, go and do this interview, you might actually get in. And at that moment, I was like, you know what, there's nothing to lose here. So the thing is, once you start to battle it out with people who've actually been not just in the industry, but I've gone to school for media studies and journalism and all of these other careers that are very centralized in media, you start to feel a little less worthy of the space to begin with, yeah? Because guys have gone to school for years and years and years, and you're just like randomly a person who bopped up from somewhere. So ultimately, I feel like after you get into that competitive state and then you battle it out with a lot of people and eventually you get chosen as one of the best within the group of people that you were in, I feel like that gives you that nudge, that courage, and then it now pushes your passion. So I hope I answered your question.
I also want to ask you about, you have talked about being in radio and then making a transition to TV. Now,
Yeah,
radio is a space where you just talk and people never get to see you. But of course, nowadays, I see people filming radio shows.
yeah.
So how was the transition to TV where now people get to see you, they start giving you comments, you have, your hair is not well done, all those comments. So how was the transition?
Yeah, that's actually one of those things that you have to you have to really give credit to TV hosts for doing. Looking good on TV is not a joke. Trust me. First of all, the cameras add you like they add like 10 kgs to you. So you're big, but then now you look bigger, or you're small and then you look big, and it's such a confusing time altogether. So give up mad props to all the TV hosts on all the stations that are local. But to answer your question, I feel that was actually a huge challenge. First of all, for people who knew me before I even joined media, I was a complete tomboy. Like, you would see me rocking nothing other than like sweatpants and a t-shirt. Makeup was like one of those things I would do once in 1,000 years. It was such like, that was who I was. I wasn't prim and proper. I wasn't always dolled up. I'd maybe do what I've done today, which is just like apply some lipstick and come on to whatever, just live my life in the simplest way. And radio was very accommodating of that, because there'd be days when you're just like, all right, I want to look cute, and then you'd look cute. And then there, in those days, you actually now have the audio and the visual, whatever. So you record yourself visually. But on days you're not feeling like, you don't look that cute, you just turn off the visual and you move on with your life. So now that, having to get to TV for the first time and being told, oh yeah, you actually work here now, and realizing you only have like 2 nice dresses in your whole closet and you have to go to work every single week. That was a hustle. That one, I have to admit, was a hustle. And but then after a while, you start to realize a lot of things about yourself. First of all, you start to understand your sense of style. You start to understand what it is you like, what it is you don't like, how can you improve on a few things, especially when it comes to fashion, because unfortunately, you are constantly on someone's screen, so you have to look good. And over time, you learn a lot about yourself. It's trust me, it was insane. That transition alone, and it's expensive as hell as well. My goodness, you guys, you have to, again, big up to all the TV hosts that exist in this country, because it is insanely expensive to look good. It just is. But yeah, that was pretty much interesting. But yeah, thank you for that question. It took me back to some good spaces.
Yeah, we're still talking about your program. So, you're working with the other guys, and I would also like to know how is it working in a team? How do you create chemistry so that when the program airs, like, it looks so natural? And there are guys who can't create chemistry. So when you're watching a program, it's like it's not in sync. So how have you managed to create chemistry so that the show is a good show that guys can watch?
Another very good question. Thank you. So, the, honestly, the only way to create chemistry with literally anyone is spending time with them. The more you spend time with someone, the more they get to understand how you speak, how you respond, and that just that natural knowing when to interject, when can I add a question, when can I come into the conversation, how can we, all of that can only be learned by spending time with someone. So in every case, luckily at the beginning when I joined, I had a Yuma who was my co-host at the time, and we'd been co-hosts on radio as well, so we'd already established that chemistry. But now there were additional other people, and honestly the only way to do it is just to spend time with someone. It's that simple. Spend time with someone, you will get to know their speech patterns, you will get to know, are they funny? You get to understand a few stories about their life, which you then use on the show as well. Over time, just spending time with someone is the solution. That's it.
You do stories whereby you are giving your opinions about maybe a certain topic. So I would like also know how do you balance between just giving your opinion and not making it look like it is hatred, I'm hating on this person, because sometimes you may give an opinion and somebody may feel like this is just hatred.
All right, so another very good question. So especially this last 2 weeks, it's been insane. The truth of the matter is, it does not matter what you say about anyone. People will always find a way to pick up the stuff that sounded negative and combine them and then make their own narrative. Why? Because I feel like, first of all, in this industry, in our current space, negativity and negative posts and negative stuff usually trends faster than all the good, amazing, positive things. Yeah. So you'd find that oftentimes, even when you do like the best job, you're always singing of people's praises. You're always. The one time, trust me when I tell you, the one time you say Street 37 alikuja kama amevaa sweater na kini, that one time, that's the time that they will find all the other videos and attach them, and you will be the most hated person ever. So ideally, what I'm learning as I go, because these are things that I learn as I go as well, what I'm learning is, just as long as you stand by what you're saying, as long as you can back up. Mtu akikuja kwambie, yo, you said this about me and I feel like that was a lie, or I feel like blah, blah, blah. As long as you have facts, as long as you first of all, fact checking is important. As long as you have the facts by you, the quotes that they used, that you are now just paraphrasing, and as long as you have enough backup information to just show them, but this is what you said, I didn't say that. I'm just like conveying a message in my own tone, giving my own opinion, then it becomes easier for you. Have the right information. Don't go blind. If you go blind and it goes south, Kenyans are not forgiving. Hey, Kenyans, they're not forgiving at all. Yeah.
You talked about like things going south, and I would also like to know, are you ever afraid because right now somebody, you can do a whole episode and then they just extract a 30-second clip where maybe you haven't talked, maybe you have talked negatively about something, and they use that to judge you instead of just watching the whole clip. So do you think right now, where we have social media, do you think that you guys in the media space, you are judged very harshly?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And even worse, I was speaking about this earlier in the week, and I spoke about misconstruing people's words. And this is 100% what you're talking about right now, because ultimately you have the best of words to say. I always make sure that I gas someone up. You know, like, oh my God, he's the biggest this, the biggest that, the biggest this, he's done this, that, and the other. No one ever sees those ones. Those ones, even if you try, no one will ever go and check and then repost. I have never seen that happen in my life. Again, the moment you say, but then he wore a yellow jacket, which does not complement his skin, that's the one. So ideally, yes, we're judged so harshly. And don't forget, it's judgment, first of all, from the way you look. When you speak about people who have insane amounts of fans, that's the day you will know that you are nothing. You are insignificant. You and your small numbers cannot even get you anywhere in life. You don't even have a fan base. Trust me when I tell you, there are stories we speak about, and then you go on the YouTube comment section and you just want to curl up in a ball and cry and then die, because people are just ruthless. You will be told all things, including you're just stupid. How can you be so beautiful and so dumb? How can you, like, there's so many mean things that people say in the world. You idiots don't even know how to be journalists. And I'm like, I'm not a journalist, I'm a TV host. So it's a lot. We are judged extremely harshly. But ultimately, we still have to grow. We still have to accept the good and the bad. Simply because it's bad stuff coming at you right now, you have to always constantly remind yourself, like, you know what, this is what I like to do. These are my opinions. I will stand by them, period. But it is rough. It is ruthless. It is insane. Kenyans on Twitter, on Instagram, on all these social media handles. Great, Jesus. And then the worst part, people start to like, know, who is this girl? Why don't you know anything about her? Next thing you know, you're working at the mall, pew, pew, pictures. Now you start looking even worse. It's like you said one bad thing about one person. They hated on the fact that you said that thing. And now everyone is looking for dirt around you and on you. So it's funny, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, we've seen the media change like all over the years. Right now, we have tools like YouTube. Guys are doing podcasts on Spotify and AudioMark, and all we have all these avenues. Google Podcasts. So there's a question I like asking media guys, and I will ask you too. For you right now, can you advise someone to go to school and study journalism, or can you just advise somebody to start using these tools, get on YouTube, try to find unique content that you can do, maybe start a podcast or something like that?
All right. So again, a very good question. But in my head, I'm a little old school. So I think I always give the same answer. It's just do both. If you can, do both. You've seen guys like, I'll give a good example. Aziad, is she still not in school right now? She's still in school pursuing media, and she's still a big time, influencer, big time social media head. She's doing all these interviews. She's always doing something, but she's still in school simply because you can be very big here in this country. But the moment you leave the confines of our boundaries, you might not be that person anymore. So what do you show? What is that proof that you can give that just justifies what you're saying? You're like, oh yeah, I've been in media for 1,000 years. They're like, okay, well, show us. All you have are a few YouTube videos or a few, podcasts, which again speak volumes. But what if you go to now that point of resistance where there's so many other people competing for the same position, and the only thing that can give value or can set you apart is just that one paper? So why not get both? Do both. Learn from YouTube. Learn as much as you can. Look at what other people are doing. Absorb, absorb, absorb. There is nothing as beautiful as having a brain that has enough information. So absorb as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. Practice as much as you can. But still go to school and understand the basics, which is something even I'm about to do. So I'm really thinking about going to school and studying something within the media, within journalism and media, just so I have something. You know what I mean? You always need the basics, and the best way to do it is just to go to school.
Yeah, okay. Have you ever been sidelined because you are a lady in the industry?
I haven't been in the industry for very long, but yeah, not just because you're a lady, but sometimes it's just because you don't look the part. A lot of people want to see something very specific. You want to see either a skinny, very curvy, a very particular body on your screen. And so you will find that actually, oh yeah, I did get sidelined. A few years ago, I was a friend of mine asked me to come for an interview. They were looking for a presenter at one of the local stations, big, one of the big, the giants of the industry, the media industry. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I was like 19, maybe. I was really young. So I went. I didn't have any experience. I knew nothing about it. It was just like we talked with this friend, and he's like, oh, I think you can do it. Let's come through. Let's do it. And immediately I did it. They asked me how old I was, and they were just like, you're too young. And that was it. A lot of these places, you will hear things like, you're too young, you're too something. There's always something. There's always just a little something that will set you apart that they don't like. And actually, I have a friend as well who's a big producer. And she had the same responses. They're like, we love you. We love what you do. We love everything that you are. You sound like exactly what we want in our company, but we don't hire people below the age of X. So I don't know how this is going to work out. And it's so sad, but it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Rumor has it that in some of these big media houses, like maybe when you go and try to look for an opportunity, or maybe you get an interview, like the first thing they look at, like maybe say it's you, they look at you and they tell you that maybe Kathomi, you do not have 20K Instagram followers, now we can't give you this job. So I don't know if you have experienced this, and what are your views about that? Is the mainstream media right now really depending on the social media?
I think for different shows, yes. Anything entertainment, of course, you have to have numbers. But to be all the way honest, I haven't seen that much rejection. Okay, new age new age media houses, for sure, they need your numbers. They want to see where you're at, who knows you, how much can you push online and stuff like that. So a lot of new age social, like media houses, sorry, not social media, but media houses will definitely look for numbers. But the OGs, yeah, they don't care. As long as you fit the characteristics of what they want for a particular show and you get the job. But the only thing would probably be the age thing. But other than that, it's just your qualifications. But new age houses, my friend, you've got to have a few thousand followers before you get into these places. But at the end of the day, it really is important to accept the fact that if you have organic numbers, if you've gotten to those numbers in an organic way, these are 100% human beings following you and care about your influence, then why not get the job? I mean, clearly people care about what you say, so absolutely give them the job.
Yeah, you previously you have talked about guys having very mean comments on YouTube when you maybe upload an episode. So I really want to ask you about cyberbullying. Have you faced cyberbullying, or are you in a level where you do not even care?
Okay. Cyberbullying is natural. Cyberbullying, okay, let me correct myself. I caught myself there trying to lie. Cyberbullying is a big issue, a very prevalent issue, not just locally, but like everywhere in the world. People just like to be keyboard warriors. They're just beraging you with all these horrible things. However, personally, I haven't. I mean, a few mean comments here and there. You'll hear someone saying something, like commenting about your body. You'll hear someone saying something mean. And at first it used to really bug me. Like, it used to bug me. I'd come back home and sit down with my partner and I'm like, babe, you don't know what they said. They said this and this and this. Oh my God, look, I took a screenshot. It's so mean. Why are they so mean? And I would be bugged about it for like a week, even more. You're just like sad. It takes away your confidence. It's chipping away at who you are. And you're like, but you don't see what I'm doing. You're looking at something that is non-essential. And then after a while, I started, talking to people who've also been in the industry for a long time, and like, how do you deal with it? What do you do? And stuff like that. And trust me, so many different people have so many different ways of handling cyberbullying and handling mean comments. And the best advice so far is they don't know you. What's the worst that could happen? What is the worst that could happen because someone said something mean about the way you look? Absolutely nothing. So you move on with your life.
As we are finishing up, you can just give some advice to guys who are starting out and guys who would even like to be in your space right now. You can just give them advice, and you can also talk about the important lessons that maybe you have learned over the years and you want to share with guys.
Oh, yeah. So I think I'll start with the general feel of the industry. There's so many opportunities to do so many things. I'll give an example of you right now. You're just in a comfortable space in probably your own house. All you did was use a device to make sure that you are connected and we're talking, a software to make sure that this is actually being recorded, and some good light. Yeah. And then you did your research. And look, we're here now. We're having a conversation. You've had an interview. I'm not saying it's minimal effort. I'm saying that if you're passionate enough, trust me, people have done everything from just doing random. You've been seeing people on their phones taking random voice recordings. Those are called vox pops, voice recordings of people and interviewing random people on the streets, and look at their mad numbers of views. Look at people caring about what they're doing and them getting these followings, and eventually these end up becoming money. So there is no right way of doing anything. If you're passionate enough, get yourself in the game, whichever way. If it's interviewing your mother, if it's talking to your friends, if you and your dog decide to sing a song and record it and put it on social media, just do it, as long as you're out there and you're doing it. And trust me when I tell you, that's a message even I need to keep reminding myself, because you're always trying to limit yourself. You're like, I don't have this, I don't have that. How can I do this? How can I start? Figure it out on the way. Songa ukisonga utajua. And trust me, it's that movement that gets you places. I again, some of these opportunities don't come to you when you're sitting down. You have to be moving. You have to be seen. I mean, I had an emceeing job on Sunday, and trust me, I didn't even think that would be something that I would be doing over my weekend. I just, it's you have to be somewhere, be seen. Let them see you. That's the only way that people will see what kind of person you are. Oh, you're really good at speaking. I feel like you should come and do this thing we're doing with my friends. Just talk a little. Next thing you know, you're an MC. Oh, please, can you take a picture of me? I've seen your pictures. They look really nice. Next thing you know, you're a photographer. Just do it. Be out there. And that's it. No other answer.
Thank you so much, by the way. Thank you for giving us your time.
Oh, absolutely. I am sorry. I know we were supposed to do this yesterday, but like, yeah, it just, life happens. But we've done it. Thank you so much for having me. I really genuinely appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate 37th Street for even giving me this platform as well. Trust me, I appreciate you so much. And good luck. You're doing so awesome. I hope and pray that this works out and you end up blowing up and becoming exactly what you want to do and what you want to be in life.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.